with and maybe have a struggle on map 1 with the bait pick of Nuke, but sorry, with the Rush B pick of Nuke rather, and it's just like I'm just not seeing that same level of confidence replicated over on Mirage. Yes, we saw it for the 9-2, but it was that return, it was that mid-match and late game sort of final closing where baits really showed their mortality in this kind of a best of 3. Now, of course, as I mentioned before, this map still is a lot of positive, is a whole lot of positive right now for the bait side because they still win it quite a lot. They're beating some very decent opponents on it. Famously, G2 lost out to them during the bounty, and that is got to be a point towards their favour, right?
Well, I would say so, but there's also some positives to come from Rush B. I'm talking about Betro a little bit earlier in the series about them surprising me by topping the group and having themselves a good seed going into Stage 2. Rush B was able to beat them at the end of January. I'm looking at them beating Sashi, another team that plays some pretty good CS towards that higher end of Tier 2. And then even, 2 days ago, they took 7 rounds against Paravision on this map, and Paravision are quite a good ancient team. So while the map pool definitely shows that there's more depth for bait, don't be surprised if this game is going to be competitive, and don't be surprised if Rush B can actually close out this series 2-1.
Well, I might fight you on a couple of points when it comes to those successes. I know that Sashi have actually had a very rocky time as of late when it comes to their overall tournament performances, and they're currently on a bit of a lost streak of their own at the moment. So I'm not certain that that's a positive result in the same sort of way as it used to be. I will say that obviously for Rush B, it's a step above the rest of it when it comes to their traditional position in terms of the Tier 2 space. I still, again, just consider the fact that it's always that we look at the majority of the teams on paper and we see that the level of caliber of team is not quite as high for the Rush B side as it is towards bait. But then that comes on to the next point, given what we've seen so far in the series, will that really matter?
Yeah, look, it's going to be a long day for Rush B. They've just played a best of 3 versus Favbet. They had, 10, 15-minute break after that one, and they go straight into this. So it is going to be a long day, and it's tough to play 6 maps back-to-back when you're focusing on other tournaments as well, and it's just a lot of fatigue. But you've got to try and push that past you and say a win here would help us jump the VRS. It would help our campaign of pushing on, giving us as good of a seed as possible going into Stage 2 of ECL. And bait have looked shaky, so we need to jump on that. We need to jump and capitalize on this opportunity, because it's not often an underdog team can say, we beat bait. And it shows that by the track record we've seen for them on HLTV this year.
Well, they could gain out of this matchup is massive, while either team could lose off losing it. Well, that's also just as significant for either side. Rush B will take on bait for the final time tonight. Rush B are on the T side start. Bait for the defensive here of our final map of Ancient already. Molotov dishing damage to Essential, whose Julies are hungry to find that opening pick, spotting players in the cave entrance, but unable to get any of those kills. They'll jump past the flying bullets to Essential, and they'll